That's a very good record. That's called Somebody to Take Care of Me. That's from a young Northern Ireland singer-songwriter called Erin Shanley. Sorry, Shanley. Is that Shanley or Stanley? Excuse me. I don't know. Hold on. I should know. Shanley, of course it is. And he's been on this programme a number of times, and he's making a few waves in America. I think he could be big. I like it when some of our young lads make it big in America. Do you not? Does it not give Philly full of pride?
Absolutely.
I have a lot of messages here, but I left them upstairs in my desk.
Oh, dog. Could you wish Anne McDowell a very happy birthday today? Anne, who lives in the Castlereagh Road. She's 75 today, and this is from all her family and friends, and they would like it if you play a nice wee song for her.
I will play a nice little song, of course I will. Yes, of course I will.
Good.
I would like to play something really nice for her now in a moment, because I have to go upstairs and get all the wee messages that I left on my desk.
First of all, how are you going to do that?
I'm going to put on a record now, and then I'll run upstairs and I'll come down.
How long's the record? Let's time you.
No,
come on. How long is it?
I don't know. It's 4 minutes, 43 seconds.
4 minutes, 43.
Yes, it is.
5 minutes.
That's enough time for me to get upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, here's a lady. I'm just looking at this lady called Orla Curran. She says she enjoys the programme. She says, unfortunately, I'm now back at work. She used to listen to the programme while she was unemployed, and she relied on our podcasts. And she likes them. She said, thank goodness they're available. A lot of people don't know about our podcasts. Will we tell the people about our podcasts?
Yes.
Why don't you tell them?
The wee podcast.
Go on, you tell them.
Right. Gerry's podcast is on every night, all the time, 24 hours a day. And if you click onto the BBC website,
yes,
www.bbc and all that business, and then go to Gerry Anderson /podcast.
Yes, well done.
And you can listen to his programme.
The people know now.
Yes.
It's good to see, especially with expatriates, people who are away. Of course, you can access that. Of course, I don't know. Can you plug on? Of course, you can. It's only iPlayer you can't use if you're outside the country.
Is that so?
Yes, you don't know this. Anyway, the number to ring if you want to contact this programme is 08459 555 678. There is an email address, gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk, and there is a text messaging service, 81771. Tell you what I'll do now. I'll play a little song, and then I'll go upstairs, and then I'll come down again.
Right, go. Go,
chance, will you?
I love
Give
this
us a
song.
chance.
I love this song.
This is Barry Fleming, Guiding Light.
I don't know if you can hear me. Don't know if you can see me. But I'm needing you. Just to take away the feelings that are holding me against my will. For you could always understand me. Never tried to underhand me like so many did. Just to have of you something simple to believe, like a memory, just a memory. When I look for you, when I call to you.
There, I'm back now.
Oh, I'm listening to this song.
Sorry.
Those words just carry through into the yonder like they always do. I just can't get it right. Try as hard as I might. You won't be here tonight. Won't be here tonight. I was gonna wait till later. Put some thoughts down onto paper. always said I would. Just to let you know everything I couldn't say. Yesterday, I'll go on with what I'm doing on a train that isn't moving or going anywhere. You were the fire in me, the power to be what I could be. You were next to me when you were next to me. Now when I look for you, when I call to you, those words just carry through into the altar like they always do. I just can't get it right. Try as hard as I might. You were my shining light. You won't be here tonight. You were my guiding light. Wish you were here tonight.
That is a nice song, isn't it? I can tell by the glazed expression in your eyes that you really enjoyed that.
Yes, and I would love you to ask Barry Fleming if he would send me a copy. I would love to play that in the wee show.
Let's write 2 copies.
You don't believe me?
He sent me 2. I'll give you one after.
Oh,
For a $5. I'll give you one upstairs. Yeah,
oh,
certainly.
I didn't know that.
Certainly
Oh,
will.
that's nice.
Right, a lot of progress going on here. Do you remember yesterday we read out a very nice letter from a little girl called Chelsea, and she lost her little dog Minnie. And
Yes.
she had just undergone an operation.
Yes,
She was very
yes,
lonely.
yes.
But she writes back to me and she said, just to let you know that Minnie is found.
Ah, good.
She also writes to Wendy Austin, Hugo Duncan, Alan Simpson, and Stephen Nolan.
That's hateful.
She say,
Ah,
that
see.
just put you off then. It's just like jumping on anybody.
Ah, well, that's nice. She's thanked everyone.
She thanked everyone.
That's good.
My family went out searching for her again this afternoon, and she was found up on the rafters of a garage behind my nanny's. No one ever thought of looking there, and she never barked once when everyone was calling her name. She must have been afraid of falling.
Ah.
My uncle Gerry was out the back calling her name when he heard a whimper coming from the garage. He went to the garage, called her name again, and there she was up in the rafters. Minnie might have followed the cat up there, but realised she couldn't get down again, so she was there from lunchtime yesterday, all night and up until an hour ago. It's such a relief she was found. At the moment, she's just rolled in cow manure as a show of thanks for being found, so Mummy is away to wash her now. So everything is okay. And also another person says, is there any chance you could ask if anyone has lost a dog? He was found near Newcastle and is black with some white markings and small to medium in size. He is wearing a blue collar. See? I'm like St. Francis of Assisi.
Our
you
TV
notice
wasn't
when I come out
on
on the-
last night.
Excuse me?
Our TV wasn't switched on at all last night.
At all, not for
Oh,
any
yes,
reason.
it was. Yes, no, I beg your pardon. It was switched on at, was it 10 o'clock for the big pound note falling down?
Do you not even watch me? I'm on every night. Little small films. I thought maybe you'd bother, give you something to talk about.
No, they watched the pound note program.
The Pound Note programme, the £1 Million Drop. Is that any good then?
I think it's going to catch on. Aye, it's going to take a little while. They need a winner. You know, they need a winner.
Let's not talk about TV anymore. Okay. A gentleman writes to me and he said, Adam Breen, of course, you know him. He introduced you to his bull.
Yes.
I often wonder, he said, at how uncultured we Church of Ireland Protestants really are. No outings to Casement Park for us. No 12 pints. No black eye and a love bite for us on a Sunday. No, we have no fun at all. 12 pints, a black eye and a love bite.
12 pints?
A black eye and a love bite.
How could you drink 12 pints?
Oh, I know people drinking 12 pints.
Well, I know, but
Did you ever wake up with a black eye and a love bite?
No,
Did you?
no, I never had a black eye.
Did you never have a
Did
black
you?
eye? Yes, I did.
You did not.
I did. Long time ago when I was a little more adventurous than I am now. A fella hit me one time.
Oh, that's hateful.
Yeah. I woke up with a black eye. It's a very painful thing. You know the way you look at it in a comic, you just see a big black eye. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's a big swelly eye. I didn't like it at all.
Who hit you and for what reason?
I'm not telling you.
Please.
It was.
I don't
I was
believe you.
hit for a good reason.
No, I don't believe you. You were hit for a
don't
good reason.
believe me?
No, I don't believe you. But but listen. Once you tell me you were hit for a good reason, I'm not going to question you anymore.
I was hit for a good reason.
That's good enough for me. Knowing you, I would have a fair idea what that reason is.
It was a man who
That's
had a
all
girlfriend with him.
Yes, you don't. I know. So we'll not go down that road. Yes.
No, not so, my good self, for I, says he, in an effort to appear more bourgeois, have adopted the culture of the Mediterranean. I now live life la dolce vita. The Italian influence is everywhere where I live. Italian wine instead of buckfast. This man has changed his whole life. No more spuds. Risotto all round. I'm the king of Carnaroli. The Hugo Duncan CDs have been replaced with Pavarotti. He's dead too. But the ultimate homage is the Beretta semi-automatic 12-bore. Health and safety folk pay attention, for I must confess to an accident that befell me yesterday whilst cleaning Old Faithful. The good weather entices me, much to my mother's horror, to wear sunglasses indoors, and what with the hot weather resulted in me sitting at the table naked, wearing wraparound shades, smoking a cigarette, drinking wine, and polishing the dismantled components of my firearm. Unfortunately, I dropped the slippery barrel of the gun, knocking over the wine, and as I instinctively recoiled, my left elbow toppled the open bottle of gun oil right onto my exposed crotch. I sat for a moment, the indigo haze of a silk cut making the scene somewhat surreal, stood up in front of the mirror, horrible, nude, fag in mouth, eyes hooded by shades, nether regions glistening with the warm, soothing lubricant coating them snugly, and I suddenly realised, as St. Paul did, that something had happened to me. I had been transformed. I became a Chippendale.
Apparently,
Yes?
James
that.
Nesbitt has new hair, according to this text message.
I have been trying to draw your attention to this for some weeks. There
At
is
the
something,
awards last night, a big head of hair.
but I saw this a long time ago. I see Jimmy Nesbitt more often than you do. I, of course, move and mingle with the stars. You're too busy playing golf. I saw Jimmy Nesbitt one day, and I looked at him, and it was everything I could do to stop saying, "Where did you get that hair?"
Why didn't you say to him?
I can't say to a man. It's
Let's
like
ring
saying,
him and ask him.
No, I can't ring
You
him.
have his phone
No,
number.
it's happened. No. It's happened to two men
Yes.
from Northern Ireland.
Yes.
Two men from Northern Ireland who have become very popular in Northern Ireland, one more so than others. And the two of them have shown evidence in, I would say, the past couple of years of losing their hair. Now, this is something that every man has to deal with. Not every man, but most men have to deal with. I think I've dealt with it in a manly fashion. I just think pretending it doesn't happen. But two men from here were balding rapidly, and now suddenly, for no apparent reason, they have become rethatched. You know who I'm talking about here?
Yes.
One is Kilty.
Paddy Kennedy, and now
Yes,
Jimmy
Paddy
Nesbitt.
Kilty was a man who started to comb his hair forward. And there was like disturbing signs of a comb over. And now suddenly he's got a big mop of hair. Jimmy Nesbitt was baldy.
I would love to see a photograph of him.
Getting baldy, seriously baldy, and
Yes.
had given up.
Yes.
But something happened to the two of them. They found out a way. Now, I've been frantically trying to find out what it is because I want to join them. I want to join them. Look at my back of my head. It's getting worse.
It's bad.
Front's all right, not too bad, but that's starting to go as well.
Yeah,
I figure by the time I become unattractive to women, I'll be practically bald. But you see, what I'm thinking is this. Those men have access to a lot more money than I have. I think it's something to do with big pots of money.
But surely Jimmy will talk about it, and surely Paddy Kennedy will talk about it.
No, they won't.
Why not?
Because they
Sure,
think
it's so
that...
obvious.
No,
Sure,
no,
Dickie
no.
Rock talks about his wig.
I know, but Dickie's not the same as other people. See, most men, when they
I
get
would
something...
ask him.
No, it's the same as people who've got plastic surgery done. They think you don't notice. Kylie Minogue thinks that she's doing it with pond cream.
No.
That's what she says.
but-
She says the only thing she uses is Pond's cream. Is that Ask Janet?
Is that right?
She says
right,
that she
she
uses
says.
Pond's, and it's obvious.
Ah!
What?
Did you see the thing last night on TV?
No.
It was on during the big pound drop thing.
No.
I nearly died.
What is it?
What things?
What was it?
Things that these girls are doing now.
Like what?
Advertising this cream. I couldn't believe it.
What cream?
I can't believe it. You should
What
do
cream?
that.
What cream?
When
cream?
I saw it, I said, I'm going to bring this up to Mr. Anderson.
Well,
in the
bring it
morning.
up then. Tell me
Yes.
what it. Give me a name for it. What's it called?
I don't know what it's called.
And what about it? What's it like? What does it do for you?
It prevents cracks in your heel.
Well, get me some of it. Cracks in your
What's that?
heel?
On your heel.
Sure, who sees your heel?
Exactly.
For
Girls.
God's sake, unless you're sleeping
Put away
upside
with-
down in the bed.
Right. If you've got tired and cracked heels, you rub this stuff on at night before you go to your bed, and you're waking up with big fluffy heels.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with that. There are a lot of women. You see, it's like a man walking out, and a man needs good shoes on him. A
Right.
man never feels like a man unless he's got a good pair of shoes on him. You know.
When was the last time you looked at a girl's heel? Come on.
Private. It's a private thing.
It doesn't mean.
Well, it was accidental. I was on my way past.
But is it a problem with girls?
Yes, it is, as it is a problem with men if you only look. See, women's heels tend to dry up, like a cow's there.
A cow's heel?
Yeah, yeah.
What, Janet? Do you put stuff in your heel? Janet doesn't put stuff. Emma?
But
Emma
she's too
says
young.
no way.
No, but she's not ready for that yet. She hasn't reached that stage where she needs.
Cream now for chapped elbows next. But I can't believe that they're cream for
Stop it!
cracks in your heel.
She was smuggled into the land of the free with a gag on her mouth, roped hands and feet. Please don't hurt me, she said to the strange man. I'm 14 years old, she said, trying to stand. I come from Honduras, my name is Rosanna.
I didn't play all this the other day. I'm going to play it in its entirety because it's brilliant.
How to satisfy a man who was willing to buy or put a gun to her head and have his own way with a sister, a daughter, maybe mother someday. Somebody's sister, daughter, or mother someday. And she brought a little baby into the world, a brown-skinned, black-eyed American girl. She prayed to God a prayer of thanks baby clothes in her hand, waiting on the helicopter to pass. She's kneeling down in the tall dry grass, silent as a prayer on Easter Mass. And when the dogs are gone, they race for the river. Cold and afraid, it made Rosanna shiver. On the other side, everybody keeps running like a white-ass deer when you fire a gun. They run to where the trucks are gonna come. Hey, it's 3 days of poison wells and it's hot as hell. And her friend Carla, she don't look so well. Carla dies in the shade of an old thorn tree. Don't cry, Rosanna, just let her be. It's another free meal for the coyote. Yeah. But I feed Jesus with my own hand. Would I let Jesus step on my land? Poison my well, sick a dog on a child of God, like Rosanna. Rosanna. Money for the mafia, American green. A truck ride to Houston, packing like sardines. Back to the street to find her way home. Same old tricks, sell sex and get stoned. Handshake and talking to her daughter on the payphone. One day we all have to cross the waters with our brothers and sisters, sons and daughters. Just as sure as the moon swims the Rio Grande, one day she'll walk through our door. Hallelujah, Hosanna. Welcome home, Rosanna.
What a great song. I played a bit of that the other day. I think it's not fair unless you play that to the very end. That's Marcus Hummon, Marcus, Hummon. That's a song called Roseanne. Hello, good morning. Sorry?
I'm sorry. Janet took Elsie back
Why?
because Elsie was waiting to talk to you for how long? 9 minutes? For about 9 minutes. Then you went into that long song.
I did, yeah. I'm sorry.
And then and Elsie has something, she wants your help, and it's not fair to squeeze Elsie in with 2.5 minutes to go. So we'll talk to Elsie after the news, if that's all right.
I wish you wouldn't make these decisions without consulting me. I was
Well,
quite
with the
quite
team
prepared
in
to
here,
talk
the
to
team
him.
in here decided that it wasn't enough time for Elsie. So we just said that's gone on and on and on. Doesn't seem any end to that song.
Okay, a
The happy
gentleman.
trucker wants to know how long ago did Gerry get his black eye? You see, you've started something now. You've started something.
It was 20 years ago.
That's
I was only 30.
20 years
25.
ago.
Yeah. A gentleman sends me a photograph of Jimmy Nesbitt, a photograph that was
A
taken.
recent.
Yes.
I love to see his
Taken
hair.
last Saturday
Good.
in Portrush.
Oh, here, I have information for you.
He's got a big load of hair.
Where you can go, I know where you can go.
Now, I'm not going anywhere that says wigs outside.
No, Janet said you've got to go to. Are you familiar with Leeds? I mean, do you know it? Do you know it anyway well? That's what I'm saying to you. Do you know it anyway well?
Leeds? No, I've never been in Leeds.
I was in Leeds once, and I hit my head in a bus.
That's great, yeah, okay.
Getting
yeah.
off a bus in
Oh,
Leeds.
right, yeah, right. And what about Leeds?
That's my memory of Leeds.
I don't want to know
And
your memory.
I wanted to complain, but the bus drove off.
Can you get hair in Leeds?
Yeah, but they've got very bad buses.
Can you get hair in Leeds?
Yes, it's where they're all going.
Can you,
It's where
that's where they're all going?
It's where.
Is that where Jimmy Nesbitt?
Yes, and
How do you know that?
according to the person that phoned Janet.
Does Kilty go
Well, we
there
don't know if they're going there. Let's not say that they're going there, but people are going there to
And
get.
what
you.
happens?
The likes of you could go there.
What is it? A transplant?
Oh, look at him.
What?
Oh, look at. Is that a man? It's a girl. What does she want hair for? And look at him. Who's him?
Who's? I can't see that. What is it you're looking at?
Right, you've got to go to a place called White Cliffs.
Why?
And it's for hair laser therapy.
Oh.
So Leeds, I don't know whereabouts in Leeds, but if you get
but
the
that's for
bus,
get-
watch your head in the
But
bus.
That's for getting rid of hair. Laser,
No!
laser therapy is for getting rid of hair under your arm.
We've got all. Well, these people have got big heads of hair. These photographs.
You send that in to me.
You shall.
Send that in to me.
Careful getting off the bus now.
What? Oh, in Leeds.
In
Yeah,
Leeds,
oh, well,
because you hit your head in the bus.
But does Keelty go there? Just say.
Well, we don't know where they've gone. You know. I want to phone Jimmy Nesbitt and ask him.
No, don't do that. No, don't. He'd be upset. No, please, don't do that.
He may ring.
No, don't do that. We'll be back
right.
after the news. Don't.
On 92 to 95 FM,
and 1341 medium wave.
this is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Sweeney. Counselling's to be offered to the friends of a schoolboy who collapsed and died in a West Belfast park last night. Local people tried to help the boy after being alerted by other children, but were unable to save him. Conor McCauley reports.
A meeting was held this morning to discuss how best to support the family and friends of the 12-year-old schoolboy. He collapsed and died in Falls Park at 6:30 last night. His family in Turf Lodge are said to be devastated by the death of their eldest child. A post-mortem examination is due to be carried out to establish the cause of death. Counselling is to be offered to the young boy's schoolmates. It's also being offered to anyone who witnessed his collapse and the frantic attempts to revive him. Those services are being coordinated through the Holy Trinity Youth Club in the estate where the young boy lived.
Public Service Union NIPSA has demanded that the Stormont Executive makes a decision on the reorganisation of local councils. It's understood that plans to reduce the number of councils from 26 to 11 may be formally postponed by the Executive this afternoon, and that the transition will be put off until 2015. NIPSA official Bumper Graham says there have been years of uncertainty.
We're not happy how Minister Poots has handled this, but to be fair to Minister Poots, he's the last in a long line of people that have abused and failed local government, ratepayers and our members, from direct rule ministers through to all of his predecessors.
The police have apologised after a patrol played ice cream van music through the tannoy of a Land Rover to quell a disturbance on the outskirts of West Belfast. They say a group of about 15 youths threw bottles at the Land Rover in Twinbrook, and police played the music to try to use humour to defuse the situation. Police say the youths stopped throwing bottles, but they accept it was not an appropriate action, and the policeman involved has been spoken to by a senior officer. Well, now with the weather forecast, here's Barra Best.
The best of the dry weather will be in the south and east for a while, with light scattered showers elsewhere. They'll become more widespread today, but there should be dry spells in between along with some brightness. Feeling rather cold though, in highs of around 12 degrees for most in a stronger westerly breeze. Turning drier this evening with just a few showers around.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Well, delays can still be expected between Ballygawley and the M1 because of an ongoing security alert on the A4 at Granville. The road remains closed both ways between Quinns Corner and Stangmore, with diversions through Dungannon. Also, the road between Dungannon and Auchnacloy has been closed at Granville, with traffic there being diverted through Eglish. Ulsterbus and Goldline services are also experiencing delays. On to flights, and at the international airport, this morning's flight from Lourdes is delayed to 11:30. The Malaga flight is now expected at 2. The flight from Faro is delayed to 3 o'clock, and this afternoon's EasyJet flight from Alicante is now due at 5 to 3. Anne Jordan reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
Wendy Austin here, and on Talkback today, music may have charms to soothe a savage beast, but should the cops really have played ice cream van music from their Land Rover to underage drinkers? Whose head should roll over the RPA fiasco? Want a house near Belfast for 40 grand? The upside to the downturn. Mark Twain wanted his secrets kept for 100 years. What would you share on the show with me? And the book club, Garvin Downey and his new book, and Colin Bateman, From Divorcing Jack to the Day of the Jack Russell via Murphy's Law. Join him and join me and the debate on Talkback at 12.
I wonder what it's like to have people interviewing you about your book. Look at this. look at this on the web. Look, This is a website. This is from the Daily Mail Online, the 30th of June 2009. That's a year ago. And it says, revealed new techniques that may have helped James Nesbitt beat his baldness. And there's a photograph of Jimmy before, the way we know him, baldy. And there's a photograph of him a year ago, and he's got a wee bit more hair. But he's got more now. What it says? It says, when James Nesbitt starred in the recent BBC One drama Occupation, the once definitely balding television star had miraculously sprouted a lustrous head of hair. Experts believe that Nesbitt, who has admitted trying various lotions to slow hair loss, is the latest celebrity to undergo a follicular unit transplant called an FUT. He grew a new foot. The new gold standard for hair transplants, which takes thousands of healthy hair follicles from the back or sides of the head and inserts them in 2s and 3s into the bald patch, leaving a natural-looking hairline. He is not the only one to have had changed appearance. Comedy actor Rob Brydon, it doesn't matter about him, ex-EastEnder Sean Williamson, and Dragon's Den judge Duncan Ballantyne. What about a Kilty? No word about him. You can see the change.
I think you should go.
By the age of 50, about 40% of men have some baldness. Around 75% of them admit to having problems with self-esteem.
Oh, dear.
I wouldn't use an electric kettle. Yet surveys show that fewer than 20% do something to stop the loss, most men indicating that they believe nothing really works. I always thought that. I thought nothing worked. It can cost as much as £7,000 to grow a new foot. For those who don't have that kind of money, there are alternatives. Are they worth it? Do they work? There we are. I'm going to grow a new foot.
I think you and Noel Thompson should go over there.
No, he's all right.
No, Noel's a wee bit scarce and top.
I need it more than anybody.
You do indeed, yes.
No, it's about self-esteem.
Oh, no, it's not. I don't.
You know, but it doesn't matter. But you don't need.
What?
You don't need hair to play golf. It's all right
Hello?
for you.
Hello, Liz. Aye, Liz is on one. You see, I was always told that wearing a hat or a cap enhanced baldness, and I never wore anything in my head.
And the same way as you sit on a wall, you get piles.
That's right. Well, I never wore a hat or a cap. I don't like it.
There's somebody sniffing there. Is there somebody there without a hanky? Hello?
Hello.
Where's your hanky?
I don't need a hanky. Did you ever hear that gypsies never go bald?
Well, you know...
Did you ever hear that?
Let's just talk about the travelling people.
Oh, well, the travelling people. Did you know they never go bald?
No, I think that's a kind of a genetic thing.
Well, maybe so.
Many of them are of Romany descent, and there's a very strong hair gene there.
Oh, good. Well, let me tell you, you don't need to go to Leeds. Go to Dublin. It was shown on the Late Late Show one night last year, and you don't have to go to Leeds and hit your head on a bus. Right, love?
I don't think I would act upon anything that Pat Kenny suggested that I do.
Oh, it wasn't Pat Kenny, no.
There's
been more than Pat Kenny. There's Ryan Tubridy.
Oh, no, he's worse than Gabo.
Oh, do you think so?
A young fogey of the worst kind.
Oh, God, no, you're very hard. Well, what do you think of Gerry Ryan? God bless him.
I like Gerry Ryan.
I love Gerry Ryan.
I liked him because I liked him because he wasn't a company man.
No.
Most of the rest of them are, but he's not.
No. Well, anyway, go you to Dublin.
And what will I do when I get there?
You get the hair implanted from the back. Apparently there's hair at the back of your head which never goes bald, and they take that and implant it. I'm sure you're not bald, are you, Pat? You're only 30.
Of course
Did you notice how your age varies from day to day? One day you're 40, and the next day you might be 50.
It goes up and down.
It goes up and down. Dear
well, thank you for the advice.
Right. All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye. Do you remember what they used to say?
Would you seriously think about that, getting hair from the back of your head and transplanted to the front? Would you go through all that pain?
No, I'd get it from the back of somebody else's head.
You couldn't bear
No, you can't. Do you know what would happen then? You'd have a bald neck.
Janice said you should do it.
No, you'd have
the girls are encouraging you.
You'd have hair on the top of your head, and you have none on your neck. You'd be like a vulture. There'll be vultures of hair on the top of their head, and they're all baldy.
Janice said it would take years off you. No, I think you should.
So I can take years off myself just by lying.
Elsie.
What?
Elsie.
Do you remember the time when people used to drink a lot, and if they did drink a lot, unfortunately, they would end up on the street?
Yes.
No, that's before everybody started drinking on the street, and then they didn't have anywhere else to go. But do you remember the time when there used to be well-known, well, I suppose in Derry, Stoke Londonderry, and I don't know if Belfast is the same, but we used to always regard men who were drinking on the street, basically alcoholics, we used to regard them as characters, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, which is a
Yes.
kind of an odd thing to do.
Yes.
It's a very Irish thing. A man is on the street, down on his uppers, with an incurable disease. Why don't they shut up when the people are talking?
They're
And he's
taking
down
your
on his
calls.
uppers, and he's drinking away,
Yes.
and he's sleeping out, and he's in rags, and he's obviously in a miserable state, and we used to regard them as characters.
Yes.
But what's the one thing about them? And it's different now because everybody starts drinking in the street now when they're 11,
Yes.
so they just stay there until they drop dead. But what was the thing that you used to notice about them? What I always noticed about men who were alcoholics on the street, about 20, 30 years ago, what was the thing you always noticed about them?
Well, I always found, well, okay, you've asked me, put me on the spot, that they were well-mannered.
No, not that.
They
were some
polite.
of them were.
They were
They
polite.
all had a big head of hair.
Oh, you're still in the hair theme. Oh,
sorry, well, I wasn't aware I moved away
Oh, I
from
didn't
it.
realise that.
They
And they all had
a
a big coat.
big hair, like greasy hair.
Yes.
Can you think of one bald man that was lying out in the street in Derry drinking? Can you? No, seriously.
No.
Can you? And I wonder if it's the same in Belfast. Does anybody remember any baldy men? This isn't. They're all baldy now. But the time when it was a thing to be.
Well, what about your friends? They never go bald.
Indians?
Yeah.
Indians.
Or Eskimos.
That's the same thing.
But the same. They never.
They are people who came from Asia, and very rarely you see a Chinese gentleman
Yes.
bald. It's
rare.
a genetic thing.
Indian, rare too
You
as
mean
well.
Indian as in Apache?
No, Indian.
Indian, yeah, well, that's the same thing. They're kind of Asian subcontinent, yeah. It's kind of an
Very,
Asian
very
thing.
rarely.
Okay, is there someone on the line here?
Yes, Elsie.
Where is she?
Why?
No, where is she?
I
Why?
don't.
Why? I don't know why. I'll ask her.
Oh.
Is she on-
Hello?
Hello, Elsie.
Yes,
Why are you there?
I'm there because I am looking for something in the Dungannon area.
So am I. I've got something everywhere
I'm
else.
looking-
I'm
I'm
short.
looking-
I've nothing going for me in Dungannon.
Oh, have you not?
I'm covered
Well-
everywhere else.
I'm looking for a clocking hen.
Are you?
Yes,
Right then. Right then. Oh, is that it?
that's all I want you for.
Well, did you ever have a clocking hen before?
I did, yes. I had one until last night,
Well, until
and
last
she decided to fly away.
night. Really? She disappeared last night?
No, she didn't disappear, but she decided to give up her clocking. And I have, they're not even eggs of my own. They're peahen's eggs belonging to someone else.
Not your own eggs, then?
No, I didn't lay them myself.
Did she clock out?
No, she didn't.
What happened to her? You're very,
You
you're
know,
very,
she's just a young hen.
you're very economic with the
But she's-
truth here. What happened to your clocking hen, the one you had up to last night?
She decided that she had clocked enough. She's only a young hen.
You see, she decided she'd clocked enough.
She just walked
Yeah,
away.
yeah,
Just walked away and
yes.
said, to hell with this for a game of cowboys. That's it. That's it.
So I'm looking for a good
Sit them
clocking
them
hen
yourself.
for some
Pardon?
peahen eggs.
Peahen eggs.
Yes.
Well, listen, can I ask you something? This is
You
something.
can.
This is something that I have never ever satisfactorily come to the conclusion as to why it happens. Now, for instance, you take your average hen, right,
Right.
with one in the breech. A hen lays an egg and walks away, right? People get
Right.
the egg and then they boil it or turn it into an omelette. But every once in a while, a hen lays an egg and a clocking hen clocks on it. How does it know the difference? What's the difference? Can you sit in any egg, or does it have to be fertilized by a rooster?
Oh, it would have to be fertilized first.
Well, how does the clocking hen know which egg's been fertilized and which hasn't?
Oh, they're smarter than we are.
How do you know how they know? Every egg looks the
Well,
same.
if there's a rooster running with the hens, they're most likely fertilized. But then, of course, they might not be any good, and they might not, and they might sit for 3 weeks and get nothing at the end of it.
You mean to say it's possible that a clocking hen would sit on eggs for an ages and then nothing happened?
Yes, I
All
do
dressed-
indeed.
All dressed
Is
up
that
and
what a
nowhere to
clocking
go?
hen does?
All dressed up and nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I didn't realise a hen sat on an egg to have.
My wee grandchild's
have an
crying,
hour
and her
baby.
mother's probably listening to me and thinking
hear
I'm
that.
not looking after her child.
I hear that. But I hear the child in the background. There it is.
That's my wee Caleb.
I hear the child. The child is fine. Hello, Gerry.
There, you thirsty now, you said.
Gerry, give him a pint.
Well, will you ask someone in the Dungannon area?
You looking for a clock and
near enough.
A clock and hen in the Dungannon area. Okay.
A clocking hen in the Dungannon area.
We'll leave you to tend to the child, and we have your phone number here.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Bye.
much. Lovely to talk to you.
Bye. What did you think a clock and hen did?
I thought a clock and hen just sat there. You know, I thought a hen laid an egg and then it abandoned the egg and it, it gave up.
That's the question I'm asking.
Right, but then
I don't know.
You just got the hen just sat in eggs.
Yeah, but it doesn't just sit.
I mean, I didn't realize it was expecting children. You know what I mean? I just thought the hen just sat there because that's what hens do.
Well, what do you think the rooster's doing there? Do you think he's there for good of his health? Do you think he was sent there by the DLA? I mean, what do you think the rooster's there? He's there to fertilise the hens, the eggs, yeah. And then the clock and hen has a fair chance. He says, just boys, that...
but if you don't have a rooster...
Yeah. You're not going to have a clock and hen if
you won't have...
What's the point?
You don't need a clock and hen.
That's like a pencil with no lead.
See, I'm learning so much. I never realised.
You should come into this programme every day.
Emma didn't know either, and she's a mother.
I know. Emma hasn't been out much. This is Cara Khan.
I light up a cigarette, even though I don't smoke. I bail out and I breathe again. If I don't, I will choke. I reach out and I'll fall again. But of course I'll get up, but I'll stand alone. I'll stand alone because no man's voice will make me bleed again. No man's voice will make me bleed again. No man's voice will make me go sit up. No man's voice. No
above the timberline, but you and I were born to roam, to wander through the whistling pine. Once the summer evening dies, our love will be of yesterday. One more glance into your eyes, then we can laugh our love away. Someday you'll find out who you are. Someday you'll be more than just a shooting star. Claimed you for its own, to put your damage on display with a steel guitar and a microphone. I hope that you will find your way someday. You'll find out who you are. Someday you'll be more than just a shooting star. But you wouldn't know it, 'cause no one's ever showed, nobody showed it to you, but that doesn't mean it isn't true.
It's a very unusual record, that. That's a fella called Harper Simon, who is the son of Paul Simon. It's a song called Shooting Star from an album, the name of which escapes me. But he manages to sound like a cross between Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. It sounds like the result of some kind of strange joint effort. And before that was Cara Cowan, singer-songwriter from Belfast. And that's a song called No Man's Force. Happy Tucker wants to know, how long ago did Gerry get the black eye? I think I'll draw a veil over that. Mm-hmm. Because, sometimes when you're a little younger, sometimes you do things that you regret.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're brought up in a spirit of jocularity. And, you forget the hurt that was caused at the time. So I can't comment upon that. It's difficult for me. Yeah. There are things I've done that I'm not proud of.
Perhaps that could be a conversation
for another time.
Whenever you talk about Elvis.
Yes, indeed.
Elvis and your black eye.
I have things to come out of me yet.
I know.
A lot of people don't know the stories that I have within, the things that I have buried in there, some that I've tried to forget. I have stories here that I can't tell, even you.
Yeah,
but, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you now. There's people from your past that talk to me, and they say to me, bring this up. Mention to Anderson about the night
Yes.
And I know I can't do it.
Well, you should do it every once in a while, because there may be things that I've forgotten.
No. I know there's things that I could bring up, like I brought up about your hut. I found that out. You didn't know I knew about that?
No.
But I know there's things that I can bring up. But whenever you give me the okay, whenever you decide to talk about the Elvis story and the black eye story now,
okay,
I'll throw in, with your permission, I'll throw in the questions that people are asking me to ask you. Is that all right?
And I've never really told you about me and Bob Dylan either.
No.
I've kept that very
I'll tell you what.
myself.
I think that would make an interesting book.
I'm writing one at the moment.
Well, do you want me to ask you questions in the book?
No.
Just trying to get a few bob for myself, that's all.
I know what you're doing. You're trying to feather your own nest.
Yeah.
No, shut up. No, please. It's my book, and I'll write it if I want
I want
to.
into it.
No, you can't.
I want
get
into your book.
For instance, I met a man the other day who reminded me of something that I'd completely forgotten about. He came up to me and he said, I remember you, he said. I said, really? He said, yes, you used to play in a band and used to come to Derry all the time. And I said, well, I'm from here. He says, but you lived away. I said, yes, I lived in Dublin for many years. And I used to come back and play here in the Embassy Ballroom. He said, yes. He said, and I used to drink in the City Hotel. Remember the City Hotel? Well known, where all the journalists used to stay when the bother was on. And this was even, well, when the bother was just started. We call it the Troubles. Anyway, he said, I remember you, he said, sitting in the City Hotel. And you and the other band members used to have a drink before you went over to play in the ballroom. I said, yes, we did that. He said, do you remember what you used to drink? And I didn't. He said, you used to drink scotch and milk. I said, what? He said, you used to drink scotch and milk. And then I remembered, I did. He said, everybody else was drinking scotch and water, or scotch and coke, or scotch and tonic, or whatever they drink, an ordinary mixture. He said, you used to order a large scotch and a little jug of milk, and you'd pour the milk into it. And you used to drink that. He said, I never saw anybody doing that. I said, well, did you ever ask me why I was doing it? He said, no, I didn't like to. And I remembered why I did it. Because I thought it was food.
Oh, that's right.
Because I wasn't eating.
Yeah.
I said to myself...
Even though your mother lived 300 yards from the City Hotel.
No, but it was the habit I had gotten into.
Yeah.
It's the habit that I'd gotten into. When I was out in Dublin, I was out drinking. I wouldn't eat during the day, and I said, I better eat something. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll drink a pint of milk along with this whiskey.
Not to be recommended.
Absolutely not.
Of course not.
That's what has me the way I am today.
A man told me, or a man asked me to ask you, which I'm not going to do.
Go on, ask me.
No, I won't do it.
I don't have to answer.
I won't do it. It just said, remind Anderson of, you were, I think, he says he thinks you're about 18 years of age.
Yes, go ahead. I can take it.
And he just said, a tent, Portrush, and Sylvia.
Is someone on the line here?
Sylvia from Scotland.
Is there someone on the line here?
One. Yes.
I'm speechless.
I know you are.
Who told you
And
that?
the police were involved.
Is there someone on the line here?
Yes.
Hello?
Laura.
Help me, Laura. Help me, Laura.
Laura, I love her.
I wasn't by your clock in hand, but anyway, I'll not get you out of what you're under now.
Are you the lady that was on about the clock in hand?
Yeah.
And you're still there?
Yeah.
Well, she's still there.
That's a different clock in hand.
Oh, you're a different lady. You're a different clock in hand lady.
Yeah, you should have put an egg in your milk and whiskey. But had a proper dinner.
That would have been too far. Well, do you want a clock in hand as well?
No, I was ringing to say a hen will clock even if you haven't got a wrister.
Is that right?
That's just their nature, sort of, if you have hens, so they go into it, and some breeds do it more than others.
In other words, if a clocking hen sees an egg, it'll just sit on it.
They'll go in and they'll sit in the other hen's eggs and put the hen out of the nest and sit on it.
Even though there's no chance whatsoever of that egg becoming a chick?
Yeah, it's just a mood to go into.
What a fruitless life.
I know, some hens do it, but they don't do that all the time. They go back in to lay themselves. If you keep them off the eggs and put them away from the eggs, they'll go off the lay and go back in to lay.
That sounds like intelligent design to me.
And then they'll start laying again.
Yeah. Well, how do you know so much about this? You must observe these hens from a great distance, do you?
Well, I've had them as pets and I've had rescue hens.
Yes.
So I'm quite used to hens.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Okie dokie.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Right,
Bye. See, I stopped listening to her. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
at
why
the
is
end
that?
there? I stopped listening.
You were thinking about Portrush.
I'm thinking about Portrush.
What story do I know?
Leave me alone, will you? Why are you
Portrush?
bringing these things up? I asked you, I know. Great show yesterday, kid. Yesterday's show reminded me of the little well-dressed men you see on a frosty autumn morning coming out of the newsagents with the Belfast newsletter under their arm, their little shoes shining. They have razor-sharp creases on their little trousers. They wear kid gloves, a muffler and a flat cap. These clean, neat, tidy men never stop to talk to anyone. Home they go to their little apple-faced wives, who's at home wearing a white starched apron, baking an apple cake, or drowning kittens in the sink. Who are these men? What do they want? Anyway, noticing a window on the wall that wasn't there last night, I thought I'd make use of it by looking out of it. And there in the kitchen, in the garden, should I say, was Tommy, my cat. Tommy had just planted an acorn and was standing waiting for it to grow. I tapped the window and I said, "Don't go climbing that tree, my back is turned." Incandescent with rage, ashes. My acting career, ashes. My attempt to audition for Britain's Got Talent, ashes. Why, yesterday even the dinner you served up tasted of ashes. That was ashes, I replied. I'd run out of Bisto. Run out of Bisto! Come out to the backyard, yelled Tommy. You what, I said? You heard me. Come out to the backyard and bring your face with you. I'm going to bust it. The last time we fought, I ended up in very, very intensive care. I had to find a way out of this fight. Tommy, I said, I know what Sean Coyle is looking for tonight. I care not a fig for Coyler's wishes, wants or desires. Come out to the backyard. But the seed had been planted. I decided to add a little wonder grow. Tommy, I said, Coyle is looking for something very special tonight, and I know what it is. Tommy stopped. His ears stood up straight on his head, and his tail thrashed about like a snake. I waited. Tommy turned and said, What is Coyle looking for tonight? A little bit of bully, I yelled. Then Jim Rogers leapt out from the broom cupboard and said, Nay, nay, nay. You've got nothing in this game for two in a shed. It was the icing on the cake. It was the final touch. It was the end game. Tommy threw back his head and laughed and laughed and laughed. Oh, how he laughed. That was just before he knocked me out with the left hook and the kisser. And all because the cat loves Bisto.
Good evening, my friends, and my thanks to you all for being here when you could be at home. If it weren't for you, I might be there too, for I'd hate to be here on my own, singing songs that I found in the back of beyond, and the places that lie in between. Songs for the times that you dream of, and the times when you wish you could dream. Sure, I've travelled through hedges and ditches in search of the reason and rhyme. I've been to the place where 9 stitches can be saved by the one made in time. I've heard of the cat and the fiddle and the moon looking up at the cow. I've read everything from Luke to I Ching. Look where I've ended up now. Look where I've ended up now. Security's getting more dangerous. There's so much to remember and know. Your passport, your PIN code, your password, your postcode. You're pestered wherever you go, and all of your baggage is surplus. If you travel with more than a smile, prepare to drink ink if you carry a pen, and hang round in the airport a while. There are times when I think I am in the wrong place, hearing things that I don't need to hear. I keep meeting people who talk to themselves with things hanging out of their ear. I'm here in the airport, the cafe, the car. I'll call you tomorrow from Rome. With so many paying to shout where they are, you'd wonder if anyone's home. Still, I travel through hedges and ditches in search of the reason and rhyme. I've been to the place where 9 stitches can be saved by the one made in time. I've heard of the cat and the fiddle and the moon looking up at the cow. I've read everything from Luke to I Ching. Look where I've ended up now. Look where I've ended up now. And the damp and the rates keep on rising. I'll tell you no more than the truth. There's rain coming in through the ceiling, and the water bill's gone through the roof. There's a hole in the bucket of ozone. There's a whole lot of work to be done, and the girls who were screaming at Boyzone are now screaming at boys of their own. Sure, we've run out of batteries and patience. Big Brother is taking his toll. Remote controllers all over the house. We have not the remotest control on the ones who we went and elected. The power has gone straight to their heads. There's money for weapons and war games, and nothing for hospital beds. Still, I travel through hedges and ditches in search of the reason and rhyme. I've been to the place where 9 stitches can be saved by the one made in time. I've heard of the cat and the fiddle and the moon looking up at the cow. I've read everything from Luke to I Ching. Look where I've ended up now. Look where I've ended up now.
Funny song. That's great. That's Colm Sands. That's a song called Look Where I've Ended Up Now. That's from, I think that was his last album, it's out at the end of last year, which is also called Look Where I've Ended Up Now. A man sends me a snatch of poetry. Wants to know what it's from. I like to help these people.
Yes.
To, urge on the muse. Who wrote this, he says? There was a time in this fair land when the railroad did not run, when the wild, majestic mountains stood alone against the sun. Long before the white man, long before the wheel, when the green dark forest was too silent to be real.
Is that nice?
It's very good indeed. I've got another snatch of verse. Show me the way to Amarillo. I've been... I forget the rest of it. I don't know how it goes. When the day is dawning on a Texas Sunday morning, how I long to be there with Marie is waiting to... Whatever, how does it go? I have difficulty with the more taxing verse. The doggerel, la 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 la.
Canadian Railroad Trinity.
Texas Sunday morning.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Canadian Railroad, Gordon Lightfoot, another friend of mine. I never told you about the Gordon Lightfoot story.
Has that been kept for Elvis?
Yeah,
and the
you
Black
see,
Eye?
Nobody knows the life I've led. People think I'm like...
We should take note. Right, we have the tent, Carrickfergus, a policeman, and a girl called Sylvia, I think it was.
Elvis.
We have Elvis, we have the Black Eye, and now we have Gordon Lightfoot.
Bob Dylan.
And Bob Dylan, all to be told.
Frank Zappa.
Ooh. Oh, the girls want to hear.
Janet like that.
Aye.
That struck a
What
chord
about a wee
there.
call?
Aye. It's probably
Would you?
when the day is dawning on a Texas Sunday morning. How I long to be there, where the snipe is calling. Hello.
La da 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 da.
Hey, hey.
Hello, Gerry.
The Cure of Troy is only a thing that I just ran off one morning. Yeah, what was that you're saying?
Your poetry's fantastic. I don't know who writes your script, but it's very original. Very original.
It's just me talking.
Gerry, it's just Johnny here. I'm calling on behalf of Pigstock Festival in Colinche.
All right, we had inquiries about pig stock, and I wanted to read out. Somebody sent me an email, maybe it was yourself, tell me what the lineup was, and when it was on. And unfortunately, I forgot to do it. Maybe you could tell me now.
Well, Gerry, I'll give you a wee rundown. It's in Colinche here all weekend. It's going to be Pigstock Festival just outside Colinche, County Down. Now, what you're getting...
Is that this weekend?
That's this weekend. Now, weather's going to be good.
When does it start? When does it start exactly? Let's get our parameters right here.
Well, you can arrive at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and you can check in, get your tent set up between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Yes.
And that'll be tickets at the door for the early campers. Now, you can do that, or you can just head over any time on Saturday and get checked in then and build your tent and get everything ready.
Build your tent?
Build your tent.
Yes.
Now, there'll be no glass, Gerry. You'll be happy to hear it'll be cans only and plastics. We don't want any glass on the site, so just let that be known. But it's bring your own bottle. There'll be food on the site. St. John Ambulance will be there for people like yourself and me, and we'll be all right.
And when does that last to? When does it wind up?
Well, there's a lot of people who cruise through into the Sunday and relax. There'll be a cinema playing at the campsite, and there'll be, movies and stuff to keep when the music dies off in the early hours. But there'll also be Sunday chill-out music, and there'll be relaxing times. But it would be more advisable to sort of cruise through and leave the site Sunday, maybe even Monday. It's up to yourself, really. But you're looking at £20 a ticket and $25 for campers.
That's all right, isn't it? That's all right.
Well, it's reasonable. You can go the full 3 days. I mean, we're not going to throw you. EventSec might have something to do with it, but the organisers and myself and maybe have a word and see what we can do. But bands, headliners, A Plastic Rose.
Yes.
We have Farriers, Gaskin, Ruckus.
Farriers and Gaskin Ruckus, yeah. We have the Farriers in here. Gaskin Ruckus, yes, them too.
Yep, Gaskin Ruckus, that's one of your favourites.
Yes.
One called Mental Deficiency.
Yes.
And Mojo Fury as well, another heavy local artist. So it's going to be big and it's going to be beautiful, and the more the merrier, that's what I say.
And you say the weather forecast is good?
Well, the weather forecast is good now. It's the third year. The first year we got good weather. Second year was phenomenal. You know, the sun was splitting the trees. Pigstockfestival.co.uk has a wee video last year, get a flavour for it. But what you need to sort of hope for is that the cloud just cruises past in Calincy there and leaves us a bit of sun to get the shirts off, you know?
Well, God is looking down on you, or intelligent design, or whatever's up there. It's looking down upon you if you're going to have good weather this weekend.
Well,
Pigstock.
We don't need to hope. We know Pigstock always gets good weather. So.
What a great name, Pigstock.
Well, you were at Woodstock, so you know what Pigstock is going to be like, you know.
Take a note of that, Sean.
I've made a note of it.
Woodstock.
Yes.
Gerry, thanks for the time, big
Not
man.
at all. Okay, that's this weekend in Calincy, Pigstock.
Pigstock.
And apparently, I've talked to some people who've been at it, and they say it's great. Great atmosphere, no oil messing.
You're right, sir. We've got everything there to keep it good, keep it happy. There's a family campsite for families are welcome. You know, we want everybody to bring their own, behave yourself, and there'll be no trouble. And everybody wind down, make love, not war. Usual story.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Gerry. Bye
Excellent,
now.
excellent. I love the way people say bring your own. You don't have to explain what it is.
There's a gentleman looking your help on too.
Well, he's come to the right place. Do you know why? Because I'm a good person.
Apparently you talked to a lady during the week who lost a Persian cat in the Ballymena area to answers to the name of Perky. Well, a lady found it and she's been feeding it and she'd like to get it back to the owner.
I have no recollection of talking to anyone who lost a Persian cat called Perky, which doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't talk to them. Yeah. But I have no record of it in my head.
Okay.
Perhaps maybe someone in there, one of you people in there may have made a note of that during the course of the week, but that's probably too much to hope for. Is there someone on the line here?
He needs your help.
Good morning, sir.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Gerry, this is Seamus Carabine. You probably don't remember me.
I do remember you. I haven't spoken to you. And I've seen you advertised. You're a bit of a stand-up comedian these days.
Yes, Gerry. And there's a festival on this weekend down outside Kelly Cellars in the city centre.
Yes.
Big marquee's going up 3 nights. I'm comparing the 3 nights. But I was trying to get help with, I need a bit of translation in the Ulster Scots. So if anybody's listening could help me.
Are you serious?
I do. No, I'm trying to learn Ulster Scots at the minute. I need 25 singers. Now, the last time I was on, I asked for 25 Irish dancers, and you got me them about 8 years ago. And so I need 25 singers.
I'll send you my Ulster Scots dictionary. There's 8 words in it.
It's if I get somebody to help me translate the opening bit that I have to. I'm not taking the mick lick.
No.
Serious.
When you say a tent outside Kelly Cellars, is that in that kind of street there?
In the bank. I think it's called the Bank. It's called Laugh at the Bank, the festival. There's Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Paul Tonkinson, Carl Spain, Neil Delamere's on. So
Excellent.
Big it should be good. Should be good fun.
Okay, then it's okay. So what?
So if you have 25 singers, maybe a choir.
Yeah, and what do you want this choir to do?
They have to sing. Now it's a wee bit. It's not your usual choir lyrics, so
all right,
you got to have a bit of a thick skin.
Well, do you want a choir that's already formed, or you want someone to form a choir?
That would be best if there was a choir already formed somewhere.
All right, then. So as a choir there wants a bit of a workout, bit of a run out.
But up for a bit of fun.
All right, then. We've got your phone number.
That you would normally hear in a choir.
All right, then. Well, we've got your number, and if anyone rings up expressing an interest, we'll pass it on to you.
Okay, so you're batting 2 for 2, so this should be 3 for 3. So
batting 2 for 2 should be 3 for 3.
Okay.
All right, then. Thank you.
Thanks, Gerry. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know what that means. Batting 2 for 2 should be 3 for 3. I just pretend I know stuff.
When Jackie Sean, he'd take a knife for a night. He'd serve
said you'd catch me when I fall. You took a smile, you gave it back the wrong way round. You didn't move, I didn't blink. Just said, whoa, 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 whoa. Just said, whoa, 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 whoa. Just said, whoa, 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 whoa.
That's a band called Cashier Number 9. That's a song called When Jackie's Shone. They'll be in here to play a few songs in the studio in a week or so. Here's a word. I can't lean forward.
But why do you not press your mouse?
I can't be bothered with a mouse.
Reserve your seat for this year's Ulster Championship.
Racing down the middle of the
BBC Sport NI.
What a mistake! Unbelievable!
As Donegal take on Down.
Now there's a chance in the middle
Catch
of the
all the action on
For
Sportssound.
a moment there was goal on.
Sunday from 1:30 on BBC Radio Ulster 1341 medium wave. At 1:45 on BBC Two and also online.
Oh, he's left it behind him. It's a goal.
BBC Sport NI, at the heart of sport.
Spell, pronounce W-A-V-E.
Wave?
No, it's wave.
Wave.
Wave. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Gerry.
How are you today?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much. I was wondering, Gerry, could I put out a wee appeal over your radio programme this morning?
Of course you can.
It's my neighbour's cat has gone missing from the Ardcloon Park area of Rathcoole and Newton Abbey.
Yes.
She's a 16-year-old dark tortoiseshell cat, and she went missing on the early hours of Saturday morning. Now, Amber is a house cat, so we'd be very, very nervous. And I was just wondering if anybody knows the whereabouts or anything about Amber. Her owner, I'm ringing on her behalf, is totally distraught.
Mm-hmm.
She's had her from she was a kitten, and just if anybody sees Amber round about the Ardcloon Park area of Rathcoole, could they give your station a wee ring that you've got my number?
Any kind of wee distinguishing marks about her? Any wee thing around her collar or anything?
She had no collar on.
Yeah, okay.
She didn't, and as I say, she's 16 and very, very timid.
All right, then.
Just very dark tortoiseshell, no distinctive markings really.
All right, then. Okay, we'll do the best we can. If anybody sees that we can't, they'll give us a ring here at 08459 555 678, just a basic number. Okay, we just hope for the best. That's all we can do.
Thank you very much.
Not at all.
Thanks now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Pardon?
Can I ask you something?
Of course you can.
If you don't mind.
I'm approachable.
No.
I'm a nice person.
Okay. What age were you, roughly? What age were you when you were living in Toronto? Would have been in the, we
I'm not going to tell you.
No,
I can either tell you my age or the year.
No,
I'm
were
not
you in your teens?
No, I wasn't in my teens.
You're just slightly older. That's all I want to know. Slightly older.
I was over 20.
Okay. Because there's a gentleman rings with, he describes as more
Information.
stories.
Yes.
More stories that you can't mention.
Yes.
So I'm just checking. Do you mind if we go there? That's all I'm asking. That's
Go
why
ahead. Go ahead.
It's that when you're living in,
all right, go ahead.
Canada. That's
go
all,
ahead.
Toronto.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just going to tell you what he says.
Okay, tell me what he said.
mention this to him. Dodgy clown.
Right. Right.
Do you know what that is?
I know what that is, yeah.
Right.
Go on. And is there more?
Yes.
Is that it?
And
yeah,
ask him about the dodgy trombone player.
That's my brother.
No. You can't
Anything
tell
else?
Stories about no, that's it. But what's this about the dodgy clown?
No, I can't tell that story. No.
Not even.
Not yet. No.
No, but can you tell it when you're telling the Elvis story?
Yes, because that'll
And
be
the Black-Eyed story.
Whenever I tell those
Yes,
stories,
that's
that'll
what
be
I mean. That's
the end of my career.
No, I'm not actually. That's what I'm saying to you. But can you tell the story and the dodgy trombone player story at the end when it's all over?
Yes, I think I can. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes,
you-
yes.
will
Whenever
you take-
whenever a spiky-haired boy comes in here,
Mm.
and I have to show him how to work everything,
That's okay.
I will tell those stories. My last day on this program. I hope it's a long time yet, but it's going to be a spectacular day. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay it all out. I'm going to leave my signature. You know the way a cat sniffs about? I'm just going to leave everything there.
What do you mean a cat sniffs about?
What did I say?
You know where a cat sniffs about?
That doesn't make any sense. Did I say that?
Yes.
I didn't mean that. I meant to say something else. I don't know what I'm talking about. A friend of mine is going on a charity trip to Uganda, says a young lady, in August to help build a school for street kids. It's with the Bangor charity Abana, Abana. He has to raise money for the trip, so he's putting on a concert with the finest blues and soul artists in Northern Ireland in the Empire on Saturday, the 19th of June. That's the Empire Theatre, of course. Not the best soul artist in the Empire, because we don't have an Empire anymore. As well as Kieran and the Pontiacs, Miranda Rosenberg from the USA, Lee Hadley Blues Band. I heard the Lee Hadley Blues Band during the Derry Londonderry Jazz Festival. Terry Hooley will be there giving them their support. It's an afternoon gig. Doors open at 1 o'clock. Tickets are £10 from Ticketmaster. So there we are. The Empire, Saturday the 19th of June. Please do that. And here's another one. Please publicise a folk song and music evening in the Fountain Tavern in Belfast City Centre this Friday, the 28th, starting at 8:30. Featuring will be Sam and Elaine Bracken, now resident in the Lake District. Sam is originally from Belfast, and many will remember him as an outstanding guitarist and blues singer on the local circuit. He moved to England several years ago and now performs with his wife Elaine, a gifted singer and flute player. Their CD, Once More Around the Block, was received with great acclaim. Also appearing at this mostly informal session, local musicians Trevor Stewart, Ellen Pipes, Spike Callahan, flute, Francie Murray, fiddle and banjo, and many other singers and players. You see, did you see the programme on TG Cahal last night?
I didn't.
Oh, it was great. About the Fadgies in Belfast after
No.
the famine, post-famine, from kind of like 1850, middle 60 on. A lot of Irish speakers moved into the centre of Belfast. There's 50 or 60,000 of them. And they had a very thriving kind of Gaeltacht there, but they're mostly forgotten about now. It's a very, very good film. Type of film you should be seeing on BBC Northern Ireland, but we're too busy with Gary Lineker. And it said that, do you know why they called them the Fadgies?
No.
You don't care, do you?
I do.
Not too
I
much,
do,
do you?
I do.
They called them the Fadgies because they had a peculiar kind of way of pronouncing things, and they had their own, I suppose, an Irish kind of a slang. So a lot of them were called Patrick, of course, but instead of calling each other Podrick, they called it Anfadji, P-H-A-D-R, Anfadrick, Fadji. So they called them the Fadgies. And very, very interesting stories. Great photographs of the squalor around what is now Royal Avenue and around the where Smithfield Market is.
Well, is it as good as the Blame Game?
Not quite. It's approaching the heights reached by Town Challenge. Gerry, do you realise that you always say, all right then, in the middle of a conversation when someone who rings in or at the very end of the conversation, it's becoming quite irritating. Please say something else. All right then.
What was the last song you played? Oh, sorry, what was the last song you played on your show on Monday?
It's a million years ago.
What about the hairy postman?
What about him?
In Bangor, would you wish him happy birthday?
Yeah, tell him to shave.
sunny Tennessee. You'll love her when you see sweet Jenny Lee. Each little bird is singing merrily, just getting set to see sweet Jenny Lee.
She's got a certain something in her style. She's got a bit of heaven in her smile.
And she promised me that she'd say yes sirree, and that's good enough for me, sweet Jenny Lee.
Oh, that's so sweet.
From sunny Tennessee, you'll love her when you see sweet Jenny Lee. Each little bird is singing merrily, just getting set to see sweet Jenny Lee.
She's got a certain something in her style. She's got a bit of heaven in her smile.
And she promised me that she'd say yes sirree, and that's good enough for me, sweet Jenny Lee.
Fiddle now, right.
Sunny Tennessee, you'll love her when you see sweet Jenny Lee. And each little bird is singing merrily, just getting set to see sweet Jenny Lee.
She's got a certain something in her style. She's got a bit of heaven in her smile.
She promised me that she'd say yes sirree, and it's good enough for me, sweet Jenny Lee.
Oh, swinging Jenny Lee.
I want that CD.
You're
that's
not getting
a
it.
great CD.
You're
Why
not
have I
getting
not
it.
got that?
Because I
You've
get all the
everything
good
that's
stuff.
good.
I give you all the crap. That is, I can't find it now. No wonder. Oh, it's Willie Nelson and a band called Asleep at the Wheel. Tomorrow on the programme will be a gentleman, an American singer-songwriter called Brent Keith, who's, believe it or not, was on American Idol.